Chapter 7 of Road 1, Superelevations. We're going to walk through the chapter where we create our superelevation sections, and we'll do some lanes, go along with that, calculate our superelevations, and then finally go back into a corridors file and attach that superelevation file and apply the supers to that corridor. So the first thing I wanted to do is navigate to where we're working, which is in the district CAD, just as we would in the class, under Design, under our Randolph folder, under J2P0200, Data 7, and the corridors file. In the exercise, it calls to open up this file. So step 1. So I already have it opened up in the background. In here you can see, yeah, we have our corridors run. You've got some alignments in here, and you also have your terrain. So the first thing I do is check, make sure my terrain's active, which it is. We're good. Now I can show you with the corridor that we don't have a super elevation going. So I will highlight the corridor, get my heads-up display going, and do a corridor view. And it simply is selecting the option of Open Cross-Section Model, and then picking a view near the bottom. So I'll pick View 8, and then click in that window. It's always important, no matter if there's geometry in that window, to go ahead and click. So here we are. I can't tell if there's anything going on because right now it started at the beginning of the chain at 9 plus 50, so, and I looked at Route 63. So let's look at Road 1, which should be the same. Again, I'm going to click in window 8, and I had 63 in there. Now if I hit Road 1, it will populate Road 1 in here, and I can't tell if there's a super elevation going on or not because we're at station 0 plus 0, 0. But I can simply right click in this window and hold for a second and get to an option that says locate station via data point. And when I do this, it allows me to go back over to my plan view, zoom out a little bit, and you can see on the heads-up display it says select plan or profile view. I'll select this plan view over here, and then it's got a line rubber banded from a cursor going to a specific station, and right now it's set to 17 plus whatever I got my hand over, but I can actually come out and say I want it 17 plus 0, 0, and then hit enter and click it. Once I click it, it will fit that into my cross-section view, and I'm in a curved situation here over here on the left, and you can see that there is no super elevation going on whatsoever. It's just kind of doing its own thing. So that's what we're going to do in this chapter. We're going to apply super elevation, come back and look at this after we attach it to the corridors. Okay, so I'm done with window 8. I'm going to go ahead and close it. I just wanted to show you no super elevation yet. Next thing I want to do is create a brand new file, and this is in step 2. So we're going to create a brand new file, file new. I use no wizard, as this wizard pertains to project-wise attributes that you want to fill out. I'll say no wizard right now. Hit OK. When I get my new dialog that pops up, I want to make sure my folder is set to the one I'm working in, which I'm in Data 7. This says Data 7. I'm good to go. The next thing I want to set up is my seed file. So I come down near the bottom and I'll hit the seed button, which will navigate out to ProjectWise. In ProjectWise, I want to navigate using the folder structure at the top, going down to CAD Standards. That's where we keep all of our seed files. CAD Standards, Seed Files, Design English, and we'll scroll down to the iProject 2D Power GEOPAK file. Now, if we're working with SS4, we want to use the Power GEOPAK files, and we're going to use this one. It's a 2D file, the super elevation, so that's why we select what we did. We'll hit open. It will, of course, give us a read-only option. I'm going to say yes to that read-only option, and in here I will be able to name my file. So let's see. The name it's calling for is called Superelevation, and you got to be able to spell it, underscore J2P0200. And as we always do in ProjectWise, we want to copy the name, so I'll swipe through, do a right-click copy, and I'll swipe through and then right-click paste the file name. And you can give it a description if you'd like. I'm going to leave it like it is. Once we have this filled out the way we do, Data 7, file name, seed files picked, simply hit OK. It's going to go out and ask us to check in the previous file we were in, which is the corridors file. So we will check it in. Now we shall wait. Now the new file's open. There's nothing in it. I can hit the Fit View button at the top. It tells me no elements found. We used just a standard default file with nothing in it. So the one thing I need to do when doing super elevations is the one piece of geometry that you need is your civil geometry. So we'll attach that first. So go to the reference dialog. We'll bring it up. We'll do a Tools Attach. That will bring up the Attach Reference dialog. The important thing about this is make sure you're in the correct folder. I'm in Data 7, so that's where I'm working. So that's where I want to be. And I'll pick the civil geometry. I need my horizontal alignment, so I'll add that and then hit OK. And of course we use no nesting, and I'll OK that button. Now if I do a Fit View, I can see in the background I've got my alignment ready to go. That's all you need for super elevation. So we'll go ahead and close that out, and we'll move on to the next step. So that was step 3, referencing in the file civil geometry. Now one thing that we want to do to change when we do our super elevation sections is use an element template to kind of get our feature, or get our standard, let me put standard out there, our level, style, weight out there. Right now we're at a default 0 color, 0 line style, and 2 weight. We need to set that up. So under element, you can go to element templates. This will be the only time you really ever have to go into here. And then you're going to go to mode feature definitions. We're going to go to modeling, super elevation, and open that up. And in there we have a section that is set up with some predefined colors, styles, and weights. And this, if you use the start job and you open up the super elevation file in there, this will already be set up. You'll just open that file and it's good to go. What I need to do here to get my attributes to show up in the top is double click. Now I'm using that level, color, style, and weight. So I'm finished with the element templates. It's the only thing I wanted to do. So again, that was under element templates, and then navigating down to that super elevation and picking the section, and you have to double click to get it into here. So I'll close out of the element templates. The thing for the exercise and for your screen, I'm going to go ahead and change the color because it is a very difficult color to see, and I'm going to go ahead and use this other lime green kind of stuff, a different color, so that maybe it'll show up better on the screen. Okay, so now that it's finished, we got the file set up, we got our geometry in the background. Now we can go out and create our super elevation section and our lanes. To do it, I'm going to hit the F4 key to clear out any tool I have in my queue. I'm going to go ahead and clear that out with F4. Open them up, Civil Tools, Corridor Modeling, and about halfway down the corridor modeling tools, you'll have a Create Super Elevation section. That's what we want to do. So we're going to click this button. And when you do, it comes out and it asks the name for the section. In this case, we're going to call it Road 1. And then now it asks to locate the alignment. So I'm going to come out and pick that Road 1 alignment. It wants to know the start and stop station. So you could give it a custom start and stop station. I'll go for the whole entire length just because I'm only supering a curve in here, but I want to make sure I get beyond and past it, so it's not going to affect anything. So I'll do an Alt. As you can read from the heads up prompt, if you do an Alt, it will take you to the start. So I hit Alt. You still have to left click, and that accepts at 0. And as far down as I want to go, I'll go all the way to the end of the chain, and I can left click once I'm beyond it, or again I can hit the Alt key to get me to that location. So I'll just go beyond it and left click. It wants to know a minimum tangent length, and what this minimum tangent length deals with is if we had 2 curves on one alignment, 2 or more curves on one alignment that had different design speeds. This way it will create different sections so that you can calculate your supers differently. But we don't have that case, so we're going to go with 0. And you can see it created this shape out in the background around Road 1. The next thing it does is it advances us to the next tool, which is create our super elevation lanes. So that brings us to step number step number 11. Okay, so step number 11 says we're going to enter a name of south. So we'll key that in, hit the enter key. And then it is a primary. There's a primary, our auxiliary. Auxiliary is used for other options, but this is a primary, so we'll go with it. This side of the center line, it sets to left. Our stationing, if I zoom in, you can see it runs from north to south. So if we're doing the south lane, it's going to be the right side. So we'll go ahead and use our down arrows on our keyboard to choose that south option, or right option, my bad. So once you get it to right, you left click to accept that. The inside edge offset, this is, as we've learned from our previous chapters, is a 2-lane road that has no median, so it's undivided. So we're going to use that 0 as our inside edge offset. The width, we want to match our template, whatever we use in our template, and we used a width for our first points to go out for our pavement at 12 foot. So we'll key in 12 foot here and hit the enter key. So and it's important that you match what you use in your templates. You may have it later on with a parametric constraint moving that around, but we want to match what the basic template looks like. So if it's a 12 foot width in there, that's what we use. If it's 10 foot, use it, or 14, or whatever you end up using for your lane width. The normal cross slope in this situation, in step number 15, is a -2%. So we'll do -2, hit enter. Now you see in the background a color showed up for this right side. It changed to yellow. Next step we want to do is it advances us to the next part. It says south. We actually need to create the other lane, which is north. So we'll key in north and hit the enter key. Again, it is also primary. The side of center line is now left, so we'll change that to left side. Inside edge offset again is at the baseline, so we'll just go ahead and hit 0 on that. And the width will match what we used in our template at 12 foot, so we'll go with that. The cross slope again is -2%. That's in step number 21. And there we go. Once we accept that cross slope, then you can see that it wants to add another lane. And if you had a 4-lane highway, you would just add another lane to this. You would keep going. We don't, so we can simply reset to kill that part of it. What it does now is it brings up to the next part of the tool, which is to calculate superelevation. And here's where we'll go out and pick a standards file name. Our heads up prompt gives us some information. It says use the Alt down to select a file, meaning your Alt key and your down arrow, which will bring up that dialog, or you can simply just hover over this button on your other dialog and left click on it. Either way will get you out to the file area. Now when it opens it, it will default to the folder that you reside in, that you're working in, which is at Data 7. We don't keep that stuff in ProjectWise, we keep it on a T drive. So we'll go ahead and hit cancel to here, which will get rid of the ProjectWise part of it and bring us to our T drive, where we can select the type of superelevation file we want to use. We have 3 different types right now. We have the AASHTO, which is the English 2011. We have a MoDOT standard plans divided and a MoDOT standard plans undivided. So we're going to pick the MoDOT standard plans undivided SCP file. So we'll select that and we'll hit open. It is now on our cursor where we need to accept it. It also opens up the dialog with more options, so we'll fill them out as we go along as well. Okay, so we'll accept that file that we picked. 8% is what we're going to use for our E selection. All cases for our L selection. Step number 27 says we need to change the speed from 20 to 50, so we'll use our down arrows until we get up to 50. Once you get 50 as the design speed, go ahead and accept it. It's a linear transition ID, so we'll accept that. And the number of lanes is 1, that we're actually supering over 2 lanes, but they're tied to each other, and it's 1 super elevation. So we'll say 1 on this. The facility comes up as divided. We want undivided, so we'll use our down arrows again on the keyboard to get to undivided, and then we'll go ahead and left click to that. Open the editor. We'll open it for a minute and look at it. So we'll hit the down arrow to choose the yes option. And once you're finished, you just simply left click. It calculates our super elevation and brings up the editor box, which we can come in here and you can do some manual edits if you need to. You can do anything on these charts down below, the graph part. You can do anything you want down here or on the charts, but the graph part up top is very limited. It's not as robust as it was in SS2, but down here, if you needed to change some cross slope or some stations, you can do that. You can come in here and modify it. Okay, so that's the editor. Close out of that. And what we're going to do is we're going to, since we made all our changes, and I can zoom out and show you that, and when I look in, that now we have some, if we click on these shapes, you'll see there's actually some text in there, if you can see it. Here we go. But you can kind of see what's going on. We got supers and we got some kind of tells you our stationing and what the super's at. So you can actually change them graphically out here if you wanted to. Okay, so we're done with that, and you can see how the shading has changed on our colors. You can now see that there's not just yellow and green, it's kind of merged around with the colors when we get to the supers. Okay, so now that that's finished, we'll go ahead and we'll compress the file. We'll do compress, design, and I'll save my settings and then move into the corridor. Because the super elevation has been created, the section's been created, the lanes have been created, it's been calculated. Now we need to apply it to the corridor. The way we've been doing it is we've been going back to ProjectWise and opening the file from here rather than using the file open. So I'm going to do a corridors, double click on it. It's going to open the document. The check-in box comes up front. I'll check in my super elevation, which updates the server copy and brings me back to the corridor file. And again, nothing's done yet until we actually reference in that super elevation file and apply the supers to the corridor. Okay, so in step 34, after we've opened the corridor in step 33, 34 says we need to attach that super elevation. So go up to my reference dialog, making sure that I am in view 1, the default view, and not in the 3D view. Make sure I'm over here. Then I'll click on the reference. Okay, everything's attached, looks good. I need to go up and do a tools attach, and this will allow me to go to that data 7 folder where I was working and I grab that super elevation, add it to the list, and then go ahead and hit the OK button. And we'll OK this as well. And you can see the super elevation in the background. We'll leave it up and running for now. You can turn it off later on, but we need it for applying the supers to the corridor. Okay, so I'm going to come out here, zoom in a little bit, and there's a couple ways we can do this. We can do it from the handles of the corridor, apply the super, or we can go over to the tasks, come down to super elevation tools, which are throughout here, and do the assign super elevation to corridor. So I'll do it here. Click it. Heads up display says locate super elevation section. It's looking for this green line on the outside. Okay, that's what it's looking for. So we'll go ahead and click on that. It's not looking for the shapes. It's looking for the section out here. So we'll grab the section, and it's asking us to click more. So in that case, if we had more sections, we could click those as well and add them to the list. And then finally reset to complete. Okay, now it's asking us to locate the corridor. Well, we want to put it on Road 1. Since we calculated for Road 1, we'll go ahead and select Road 1. When you do that, this dialog pops up. It has our north and south lanes we created, tells us the super elevation point that we're using, and the pivot point, which is that the crown of that template that we use. And it has the station start and stop. We're good. This looks really good. We'll go ahead and hit the OK button and let it work its magic. You'll see it process down in the bottom right. The dialog goes away. It's wanting to go back and redo this whole thing, start the process over. We're finished. Let's just do an F4 and clear it out. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and look at that corridor and see how our supers look. So again, I'll click on my corridor, get my heads up prompts, Go to my corridor view, choose open cross-section model. I'll go down to view 8 again. We'll click. I can already see that it's applied and it's in there, but I'm going to go ahead and click again. That's at 17 plus 0, 0. So now I'm looking at 0 plus 0, 0. I can see right away there's super elevation, not because the pavement's supered, but because there's 2 point controls that's been applied. Those 2 magenta point controls, which deal with super elevation. So again, I'll just go back out to that 17 plus 0, 0, and I can do that by this down arrow. Just key in 17 plus 0, 0 in my dynamic cross section window. Hit enter. I'm out here. I can zoom in and see I have now got super elevation on this corridor. And after that, we'll close out of the window, and I will do a file update server copy, and it's finished. And that concludes chapter 7.